I'd like to invite Jacob McClure from the Archdiocese of Oklahoma City to tell us his vocation story.
Thank you, Father Nolan, Father Kelly, Reverend Fathers, any honored guests, our beloved spiritual mothers, and my dear brothers. I did not grow up Catholic. I grew up as a Protestant in Oklahoma, right in the middle of the Bible Belt. And the way that Christianity was presented to me as I was growing up was like Christianity, whatever it is, its domain is only on Sunday, right? It's only for 1 hour of the week. Outside of that, it doesn't have much bearing on my life, especially in the moral realm. And so I kind of just accepted this, that Christianity was not something central to life. But I needed something central, right? And so I looked for the world for an answer. And what the world recommended to me as a young man was, sports should be the middle of your life. It should occupy the center. And so I played basketball growing up, and this idolatry satisfied me for a short time. But as I got older, in 8th grade especially, I started to recognize that basketball cannot fulfill what I'm longing for. And basketball, it reared its ugly head, and it kind of revealed itself to me as a pharaoh. And so, after my 8th grade year, I decided to quit basketball, and I started to run instead, because this is what my friends were doing. I was entering high school. It was like kind of a new transition for me. And running was in a way worse than basketball. I was compared to the gospel, like the man who has one demon expelled from him, but welcomes 7 worse than the one before. So my attachment to the world, to pride and the sins of the flesh, was so much greater. And I say this to emphasize just the momentum of my life was going in a completely opposite direction from where I'm standing today. But God's mercy, His mercy abounded where my sin was greatest. And His mercy became incarnate in my life through one of His sons, through one of His servants. On the cross-country team, there was a guy named Tyler, and he offered to take me and my best friend, who's a Protestant. He would be our car ride to places, so he would take us home from practice, he'd pick us up. And in the car, he would start these religious debates about Catholicism. He's very direct and upfront. And I would just be forced to kind of entertain these and listen to these. And I would, over time, just pick up the beliefs and the arguments for Catholicism and Protestantism. And I noticed within Catholicism, there was something very central about it to Tyler. It was important, it was meaningful. And that attracted me. I found that very respectable. And so he would ask me to Mass eventually, and I would go because I was curious. And I remember whenever I first went to Mass, it was like stepping into another world. I had never experienced liturgy, and it was so beautiful, so incredible. And I thought, wow, this is a religion. This is beautiful. And I was also able to meet the priest afterwards, and he was a great mystery to me as well, because this was my first encounter with someone who was holy. And it rocked my world. I had never seen it before. And I noticed that his life was so consumed by the gospel, by Christ, that it just gave off this happiness, this joy. And I was very attracted to that. And over time, God would use that to draw me to the seminary. So at this point, I recognized that my life now is kind of at like an either or. I've seen something beautiful in Catholicism, and I can't just be indifferent to it. It's either a yes or a no. And so I said yes, and I pursued it as much as I could. And then I was baptized. I joined RCA. I was baptized April 4th, 2021. And in my baptism, the Lord laid graces which I now see and have discerned as priestly. And I remember as I was baptized, I had gotten out of the water, and I felt this cleanness of soul. And it was such a beautiful feeling. I just felt pure and regenerated. And so as time goes on, I'm progressing in my spiritual life with the Lord. And when the Lord deems me secure enough, strong enough, He removes this kind of idolatrous attachment that I have with running very abruptly. So my junior and my senior year, I tear both of my labrums and my hips, and then I have to have 2 pretty large surgeries, which It takes about 7 months for the left one to heal, then 7 months for the right one to heal. So running is completely done. And this causes me to ask a lot of deeper questions, like what do I want with my life? And it made me realize I had a lot of deeper desires. Like I want something eternal. I want something that lasts. And so in this time of purgation, I had just a lot of time, right? I wasn't running. And so I thought about seminary, and I was praying more. And all of this kind of culminated for a desire for seminary. And so I applied, and I was accepted. And I've been in seminary for 2 years now. And the love and the mercy which God has shown me here has given me so much hope. And I pray for the grace that I may be able to share that with God's people as a priest. Praise be Jesus Christ.